The lark, of course, is the skylark, Aulada arvensis, not its less famous cousin the woodlark, or the winter visitor, the shore lark. The skylark has a split personality. Celebrated for its aerial singing, it can also be determinedly earthbound, feeding and nesting on land, hence its folk name ground lark, or in Sussex, clodhopper. Skylarks are birds of open places, downs, dunes, hills, city wasteland. So, in Britain, they primarily inhabit farmland, since this provides the largest area of suitable habitat. It was the cutting down of the wildwood for agriculture 10,000 years ago that gave the skylark its advantage. About 71% of the surface of Britain is farmland. The sound of the skylark has been the soundtrack of the British countryside for as long as humans have been here in numbers. In the furrow and tussock, where the skylark makes its home, it runs in rapid movements rather than hopping. It is this movement which is most likely to catch the eye of birdwatcher and predator alike, since the bird's streaky brown plumage perfectly blends into the farmland floor. Underparts are white, as is the rather fetching eye stripe. A further aid to physical identification is that both male and female have a clump of feathers on the crown erected into a crest when the bird is alert. The skylark, starling-sized at 17 centimetres, weighing between 25 and 50 grams, depending on sex and time of year, has white outer feathers in its tail, which show when it flies off and which it displays in courtship. These give it the country name of linty white. Travel flight is the characteristic undulation of the lark family. The wings of male skylarks are around 5 to 10% longer than those of females. Bird dealers in Victorian England were well aware of this. Male skylarks were songsters to be caged for entertainment. The female of the species were sold for meat. In British Birds with Their Nests and Eggs, 1896 to 1898, Arthur Butler described how bird dealers take the bird in the left hand with the tail towards them, and with the right hand draw down the wing until the point of the first long primary touches the tip of the outermost tail feather, the wing of the male being distinctly longer than that of the female. The so-called shoulder then appears to be much more angular in the former than in the latter sex. I have seen considerable numbers of birds thus tested, the males being caged and the females returned to the catchers, and I never knew the test to fail. But females are rarely forwarded by experienced bird catchers, most of them being killed at the nets and sold to the poulterers. Historically, farmers were prepared to aid and abet the bird catchers. The skylark eats the emerging shoots in the cornfield. The bulk of the bird's menu, however, consists of small insects and seeds, making it in truth the farmer's friend. During autumn and winter's cold, larks gather in travelling flocks and occupy their time principally in searching for food on the ground. If disturbed, they rise in a scattered manner, wheel in the air, reform a flock, and fly to a new nearby feeding area. Contemporary winter flocks typically number 10 to 20. Overall, the UK's resident population of the skylark is 200,000 pairs, though some leave to be replaced by continentals. The reverse occurs in spring. Before the 20th century, the skylark migrations across Europe were natural wonders, blackening the sky in their passing numbers.